Hello and welcome back to Sea Red UK, where quite simply it's Chicago Bulls thing. Just me tonight, Matt. Neil's currently away on a family holiday, and that's the reason why we're doing these Bulls Blitz before I get into the actual main part of the episode. It's just a way for us to keep ahead of content and keep getting the content out there, basically. If I'm tied up at work, there's a chance that Neil drops one. And as it is now, Neil's away on his little holiday, so it gives me a chance to drop one. I was going to do one anyway, and then the subject has completely changed. I was going to do one. Obviously, we had the news of Lonzo Ball, or the Bulls applying for the disabled player exception yesterday for Lonzo Ball, and giving him another 10.2 million on the cap. Probably pushing them into the luxury tax. Met with a bit of mixed news reactions from Bulls Nation, I'd say. Some saying why didn't they do it earlier, some saying it's too late, blah blah blah, all the players have gone. I kind of think that given what I'm going to go into in a minute with tonight's main news, there's still something to come with it, because to me otherwise they wouldn't have applied for it in the first place. I believe they couldn't apply for it until the 1st of July anyway, which is why they haven't done it sooner. Yes, they could have done it last year, as everybody was saying, and to me that's the big negative from AK, which me and Neil will discuss on an episode. I think AK's sort of run and reign and all that sort of stuff. But to me that's the one big negative from AK, is not sorting the Lonzo Ball situation out sooner. However, I believe he has sorted it out now, and obviously with the signing of Jevon Carter, and he's basically, with this latest signing, which I'm going to get into in a minute, he's continued his how he described it was judge me after free agency. He said that he wanted to change the shot profile of the Chicago Bulls, and in doing so he's obviously brought in Peter Patton in the first place, and obviously Jevon Carter brings a bit more shooting. And Bulls' latest signing, Torrey Craig from Phoenix Suns. I was just sitting down to eat my tea when this news dropped, and it's one that got me excited straight away. We were actually chatting about it in our chat yesterday, a couple of chats that I was in actually, I'd mentioned it. First, I was a little bit apprehensive about it. It was basically, I thought he was the player that Bulls were going to go for, and I didn't know how to take it. Looked into him a bit more, his stats, videos and stuff like that, and the more I convinced myself that it was the move that Bulls had to make, the move I wanted Bulls to make. So yeah, Torrey Craig obviously spent last year with the Phoenix Suns. He comes in, he can play either the 3 or the 4. Again, he's another player who is tough defensively. But he can also shoot the 3. And that's why I kind of got excited when I looked into him a bit more yesterday. And I think he just fits what Bulls need. He adds that bit of competition now for P. Will, legit competition. You know, we're not playing with somebody who's undersized. He comes in as a 6-year veteran in the league, spent his first few years of professional basketball in New Zealand and Australia, joined the NBA in 2017 with Denver Nuggets, kind of fell out of favour, went to Bucks, moved around a little bit, eventually finished in Phoenix last year. And it was last year where he played the most games of his career so far in a season. He played 79 games, starting 60 of them. Averaged 7.4 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 1.5 assists, which is actually up on his career stats, which obviously, yeah, like I just said, he played the most games he's played, so he's bound to improve on them. But he's also, he attempts 3.2 threes a game and hits an accuracy of 39%. So between him and Jevon Carter, they've already put in 2 players that are quite happily going to shoot it and at a decent accuracy as well. Both absolute, dogs on defence. DeMar DeRozan even said that Torrey Craig is the toughest player that he comes up against defensively, and to me it's only a good thing. Like I say, competition for P. Will. The Javon Carter signing is competition for Kobe, Ayo if he comes back and stuff like that. So to me, AK is having a good off season so far. He's doing what he said he was going to do. Yeah, he's obviously running it back as it is now, but he's tweaked it a little bit, and that's kind of what I expected anyway. Now the Javon Carter signing hasn't gone down well in all areas of Bulls Nation, and straight away, I shared this Torrey Craig move on the socials, and the first comment I got was "who?" And I don't know if that's people's just wanting to be negative. I don't know if it's the lack of NBA knowledge. I don't know, but it seems that unless Bulls are making them big moves, as in getting rid of Zach or DeMar, whoever it happens to be, then fans are just not happy at the minute. And when you look at the rumours that are going around, especially with Zach, and people throwing out there that they'd bring in Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and some first round picks that end up being, 25 to 30 in the year 2027. Why? I can't get my head around why they'd happily do that. For me, these two moves now are to help Zach more than anything. And the Vooch extension helps Zach. I think Kobe kind of helps Zach in a roundabout way, because you've got somebody who can come on to help Zach or give Zach his rest. So to me, these two signings of Carter and Craig are quite astute signings by AK. The deal reported for Torrey Craig is his first year he's going to get 2.5 million, second year 2.8, which I believe the second year is a player option. So he brought him in pretty cheap. He's an older player. He's I think he'll quite happily, if needs be, go back to the bench to allow P. Will to start, and if not, he's a more than capable starter. At the end of the day, it stops us having to play Alex Caruso at the 4. And it kind of, I think it maybe signifies the end of Markku. He's still on the roster. They've got until the 7th, which is Friday, to guarantee that contract. And it just seems that the way things are going, he's not coming back. We're still waiting on the news of Ayo. Does he come back? Hopefully, but I think if not, they're going to have something in place to replace him. And obviously, you've got Javon Carter and Torrey Craig both on pretty team-friendly deals, really, who can go straight into the starting lineup, but also probably wouldn't be too bothered about sitting on the bench. But it does mean that somebody like P. Will, he's now got legit competition, and he has got to improve both as a player and as a person to say, no, that's my starting position, you're not having it. But then what he can learn off somebody like Torrey Craig is going to be valuable to him as well. So overall, I'm more than happy with the off-season so far. The position that Bulls were in with the cap and the roster spots and everything like that, the moves that AK has made, they don't improve the team massively, but they improve, I think, the players that are on the team, i.e. Zach, Vooch, stuff like that. They let them play their game, especially Zach, and we'll get into it on an episode further down the line, our expectations for next season and stuff like that. But you've got to be excited by what is going to come. Bulls fans were saying they wanted change, some saying that they wanted massive changes, basically blow it up, get rid of Vooch, get rid of Zach, get rid of Mar. There's nothing to say that there's still not that big trade coming. Who it is, whether it's Caruso, DeMar, I don't know. But the way things are trending, it seems like all three of the big three, medium three, whatever you want to call them, are coming back. And they've retooled to improve their game. You still want to see players like Dale and Terry get minutes and stuff like that. And I think the signings that they've made so far don't take away minutes from somebody like Dale and Terry. I think he could come in and, spot DeMar for a little bit, basically, at the three. He could also slot in at the guard positions and stuff like that. I think the one player who, with this latest signing in particular, could miss out, and obviously we're still not sure where he's going to fit on the roster, is Julian Phillips. But I think he basically fills that Dalen role from last year. And I think Dalen now moves into a bit more of a Javonte Green role where he doesn't particularly have a position. They're just going to throw him out there for his energy. And I think, obviously, like I say, with Julian, he just spends a lot of time with Windy City. At the end of the day, he's a second-round pick. He could still get that guaranteed roster spot. He could still end up on a two-way. There's obviously no talk about that yet. I think, personally, my opinion is he will get a guaranteed roster spot. He will spend a lot of time with Windy City. But he's going to be a cheap option to fill one of them last 2 or 3 roster spots, whatever it is we've now got to fill. So, yeah. Obviously, Bulls, on, I think it's Friday, these contracts become signed. Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, they've got the disabled player exception still to use. Who knows what they're going to do with that? There's still some very good players left out there that could do a job for Bulls. You've got your PJ Washington, Kelly Oubre Jr., who, he's not been snapped up yet. Could end up taking less money to come to somewhere like Chicago, and that's where that disabled player exception comes in. Like I say, to me, there's something else coming because they wouldn't have filed for it if they weren't planning to use it. Just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I like to say, quick recap: Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, happy with both, and I'm sure at some point Neil might drop a video talking about Torrey Craig as well. I think a message to Bulls Nation is basically just relax with the trying to trade Zach and DeMar and whoever else, because I think what AK is doing is he's showing the direction he wants to go, and it is to bring these 3 players back, and he's put the pieces around them now, with more to come. So for me, happy. The rest of Bulls Nation, I know you're probably not particularly happy, but the moves they've made, we wanted change, we wanted a bit more veteran sort of players coming in, wanted the shot profile to change, and that's what AK has done so far. So that rounds up this Bulls Blitz for tonight. Like I said, I was planning on talking about something else, may drop that later in the week, time depending, and like I say, you may get one from Neil at some point. But until then, you can follow me on Twitter at MattCRedUK. You can follow CRedUK on all the socials. Don't forget, we've got CRedUK.com for all our written pieces. And until next time, remember, CRedUK, quite simply, Chicago Bulls thing.